culture of we at Virtua, there is certainly a strong sense of belonging, and it's easy to belong here. But these colleague communities add that sense of home that you might not get at your workplace typically. So the idea that you can have shared celebration and shared tradition with your colleagues is something that creates bonds that you wouldn't otherwise have.
I can impart Filipino values, the food, the celebrations. Not many people know, what that is or where the Philippines even is. I can bring that, but then so can the rest of my colleagues, our Indian Americans, Chinese Americans, etc. And that's just a little glimpse of what we can provide.
It's important to have or to know that people of different backgrounds are here, a way for people to, identify or meet with others, especially others who are not feeling comfortable, feeling isolated. There's maybe a way that they can reach out. Or other ways also just to know that they're not alone.
I just thought it's important to have a safe zone, a place that anybody could come to ask questions, not necessarily people who identify as Asian American and Pacific Islander, but anybody who doesn't know how to navigate what's appropriate and not appropriate.
When I first married my husband, I had friends who used to come to me and say, how does it feel to be married to someone that's Asian? And asked a lot of questions, and I was able to fill that gap because they were innocent questions. And I feel like we'll be a place that we can do that. We're filling the gap where there's a knowledge deficit.
First off, we got to get together. I know there's other people in my community that work for Virtua. I know there's other Taiwanese Americans in this organization. Otherwise I wouldn't have a chance to interact with these people if we didn't get together. Me being in the clinical setting, I know there's a lot of other people outside the clinical setting that support me in my role here, but I've yet to meet them.
I think when we start to bond over these connections that sort of drive us, then that allows us to connect on a different level and in a different way that in some ways fills that gap that we've been missing over this past year and a half with the pandemic.
I wanted to be able to let people know that we have a lot to give, that the Asian American community has a lot to give, has a lot to provide, has a lot to educate. During the pandemic, there was a lot of aggression towards Asian Americans, Asians in general. I believe those aggressions really hurt us and me personally and the people in my family. And it just really is a chance for us to raise awareness of what we can give to Virtua colleagues, not just Virtua colleagues, but people throughout our community.
I'm really proud whenever I see a Taiwanese member of the community here and I can speak their language, and I would imagine they're like really proud to hear someone speaking their language to them.
Accepting people for what they are will always make it good for for everyone. If other people plan to come in, that they will not be biased regarding because of where they're from, but actually look at it more as a positive thing.
There's still racial bias, especially with the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. I've heard some stories from people who are experiencing it in real time. So I think it's important to share those stories. I'm hoping that we could give them the right tools so they can actually have those meaningful conversations.
I feel as a colleague community, there's a couple of things that we're going to be able to do. We're going to educate others about our culture. We're going to be able to mentor others and be there to support others who are facing challenges that is unique to the Asian American community. And I think to celebrate our Asian American colleagues, I think that would be wonderful.
We all have voices and we want to share it with you. Everything that's going on in this country, we feel that it's important for all of us to get together, to feel like we belong. We hope that you can come join us and learn more.